Well, hi. I'm going to record a video for you guys to give you a few starter tips for using command line or the terminal. But just a preliminary thing you might find helpful. I think I mentioned in the guide the idea of having a sites folder on your Mac. So just want to give you a little bit more about that. First of all, if you have Finder open, you might find it helpful to go to View and choose Show Pathbar. I already have mine on, so it says Hide Pathbar, but if you don't have yours on, this will say Show Pathbar. And what that does is turn on this little guy down here. So the idea is if you're in several folders, you can kind of see your full path from your root directory of your hard drive all the way down to wherever you are. So I say all that because something that you'll want to do is go to your user folder, and out here, right-click and choose New Folder, and create a Sites folder. And if you spell it exactly like this with a capital S, your Mac is going to recognize that as one of the folders that it's kind of imagined you might want. And I think in previous versions of the OS, this was one of the default folders. But it isn't anymore for some reason. You have to actually add it. Well, anyway, once you've added it, you can click and drag to put it over here on your favorites bar so that you can quickly get back to it. So that's something that I've done. So next up, inside of this folder, I typically will put either folders for actual projects or I'll organize by clients. So for example, here's a Mile 2 folder for all the work I'm doing at Mile 2. Here's a folder that I'm doing for my own interactive design stuff, from my website to apps I'm building to folders and things to do the actual courses that I'm running with you guys. All the way down to just experiment stuff like what's in this sandbox folder. The bottom line is, wherever you choose to go, it's a good idea for your sort of site projects or interactive projects to try to kind of have a common place that you can easily get to, and that you're kind of putting all things in kind of one place there. So I like the sites folder. It's kind of built into your Mac to have it, and you might like it too. But the terminal itself, when you open it up, it's going to look something like this. And if you've been writing CSS or even doing a little bit of JavaScript or working with HTML, the idea of coding or writing, typing in some things that are going to be interpreted by something else as being meaningful, the terminal is based on the same idea. You're just going to be typing in line for line different things that you might want. So for example, we are already in the Phil Shanley user folder right now. If we wanted to see the contents of the current folder, we can type ls and hit return. So you can see this is the very same folder structure that is present right here inside of Phil Shanley. So if I want to move into one of those folders, let's say I want to move into the sites folder, I can type cd for change directory and then space, and then I basically type the path of where I want to go. So if I just want to go into the sites folder, I can just type sites like that. So if I do ls again, you'll now see the contents of my sites folder. Okay, so I want to go in and show you guys a few things on this CVDI project that's inside of Mile 2. So I'm going to change directory, and keep in mind I'm in sites, so I want to go into Mile 2 and then into CVDI. Mile 2 / CVDI, just the same way as if you were typing a path, in a hyperlink or something like that. Just to prove the point, there's ls, and you can see inside of CVDI I have these same files. Okay, so just navigating around is something you might want to do, and we'll see another example of that in just a minute. But one of the other examples of things you can do is look at, say, a Git log. And so here you can see the start of a Git log. The most recent commit was this one by Luke to replace the default Angular fave icon with the Mile 2 icon. And you can see we made an attempt here at that as well. Just before that, we merged the master branch into the develop branch. And if we navigate down, you can see there's actually a decently long history. We can also do git log one line. Oops, what did I do wrong there? Git log. Oh yeah, git log one line. Okay, and this is just showing them in more of a condensed form. So you can see there's actually a whole bunch of commits on this project. You're going to learn about Git in the next little section in the lesson if you've actually paused to watch this video. But anyhow, that's one example. Another thing you can do is actually run commands like ng start. Let's see, actually ng serve open, actually. That's what I want to do. So the actual command is going to depend on kind of what framework you're using. Right there, I was just using something called the Angular CLI, and I told Terminal that I wanted to start my ng server and open a browser window. So what's actually happening here behind the scenes is Terminal is bundling together a local web server on which I'm hosting or testing this CVDI application. So it's run a whole bunch of commands. You saw that it was kind of thinking about stuff in the background, and you saw it launched a browser window, and now I've got my CVDI app open here in the browser. But there's all kinds of things that are built into this web server. It's actually kind of a live thing. So if I go over here to my CVDI app and open a file that has to do with what we're seeing over there, actually it's in the app folder. Let's see, components, calculator, and I want to edit a little bit of HTML here. Okay, so let's say we've decided to call this, or just put an extra word in here. This is the new word. Okay, Angular CLI is built with some sort of auto-syncing features, so that when I save, it's refreshed, and you can see over here the new phrase that I typed in. Likewise, if I want to do some new styling, I can go over here to my Sass file, which you'll be learning about, and I might say, oh, H2s, I want to be colored red, and that H2 turned red. Okay, so you can see that we're able to do this kind of live refresh because of some stuff that is set up, and the terminal is just acting as a launching point to run some of those things. All right, so now let's go look at another project where I want to demonstrate one of the other things that's really nice. So I'm going to change directory, and to give you the visual, I want to move up from CVDI out back to the sites folder. So that would be 1, 2 magic escalators. Then I want to go into my sandbox and into the charter folder. All right, just confirming that I'm there. You can see the matching folder structure here. Okay, what I want to do is add a new component here. I want to be able to use the date.js component. Or let's say I want to install Bootstrap so that I can use Bootstrap in this project. Well, you know that what you might normally do is head over to Bootstrap. And you got to remember the URL, or you got to Google it, and then you got to come here and you got to find, okay, where is, oops, I don't want Bootswatch, I want Bootstrap. I think it's getbootstrap.com. Oh yeah, there it is. And you gotta, oh, okay, ooh, they've kind of updated since I looked in a while. So you want to download, and that's gonna oh, okay, I gotta figure out what I want here. Oh, okay, there it is, download. Oh, there's my file. Okay, now I've got to go find those files and copy paste them, blah, blah, blah. Okay, wouldn't it be nice if it was like a little faster to do this? Well, there are frameworks like Bower that make this very fast and easy. If I go to the Bower website, you can see I can search packages, and let's see, do they have a Bootstrap package? Oh, good. So I've just determined that indeed there is a Bootstrap package. It's just called Bootstrap. So now all I have to do is go Bower install Bootstrap, save. And I want to show you that it's going to do some actual cool things as I have commanded it to. There's a Bower JSON file. This is keeping track of all of the libraries I've installed. You can see Handlebars, jQuery, and Lodash are 3 of those. So when I type in this command, Bower has gone out and found that Bootstrap file, and it's downloaded it into my project and added it to the registry. Isn't that pretty cool? So now all I need to do is go to my actual source file, and figure out which Bootstrap file I want to load. Okay, it's probably in the dist folder. Oh yeah, there it is, bootstrap.css. So now all I need to do is just provide the path to it. So it's in Bower Components, it's in dist, it's in CSS, and it's called bootstrap.css. And now I have Bootstrap in my project. So these are just a few things that you might find helpful about just some basic operations in terminal. And from here, we need to get into some details about things like Bower and Git and other such things.